Too soon?
No, too early.
Too early.
Kristen said she's running late, it's all.
You got 4.
How you doing,
The
Dad?
mics are on. The mics are. Okay, he'll just need to stick
He'll
his
be here in
head.
just a few minutes, it sounds like. What about Kristen? Did you hear?
She just said she's running late.
10's on.
Well, I'll call this, no, it's not on yet. Nobody's here anyway, so.
Just half.
I'll call this work session of the Greenville City Council to order at 5:04, and we'll go into executive session immediately. So, and the first item on the agenda is just Carol would like to meet with the council regarding her matters. Are you going to bring?
testing.
Okay, I'll call this regular session of the Greenville City Council to order and ask Reverend Kenneth Freeman to give us the invocation tonight. Please stand.
May we bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just come to you tonight, thanking you for all the wisdom and knowledge you have upon us to help us to make the right decisions for the people that we represent, Lord. I pray for those that have come to hear us as well as come to speak, Lord. I ask you to guide us and direct us, and that we do the best that we can to make the right decisions that benefit our city and our constituency. And Lord, we need you in this service, and we need you in this meeting. Guide us and direct us and help us to do your will and not ours. This I pray in the mighty name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. We have a couple of presentations tonight, and the first one is to introduce our new police dog, Chief Smith.
Yes, sir.
We've been looking forward to this.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to K-9 Officer Tango, one of the newest members of the Greenville Police Department. Tango is a 1-year-old Belgian Shepherd. He's what we call a dual-purpose K-9, which means he's trained in narcotics detection, but also handler protection and criminal apprehension and building searches. So the name Tango, you know, every dog has a story behind the name. The name Tango means that whenever he gets really, really excited, he starts jumping and dancing around. So he does his little tango. So also with him is Officer Alex Beltaton. Alex Beltaton's been with the department for about 5 years now. He's constantly been one of our leaders in arrests and narcotic seizures within the department. Having dedicated K-9 teams for the department is a useful tool. Not only does it help with apprehensions, but it also protects potential injury to officers and citizens. So with the addition of Tango, we now have 2 dogs in patrol, and we alternate their schedules where we can have one every day of the week. So it's a very valuable tool, and we look forward to having them with us.
How long was he in training?
He started training as soon as he was born.
Okay.
So, and then when I got to meet him, I went to Mississippi and trained with him for an additional 6 weeks.
Okay.
So
He lives with you?
he does, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's that K-9 handler bond.
Right.
So
He's beautiful. Any questions for the council regarding that? Anyone from the audience like to ask any questions about this? Very interesting. So,
yeah, Officer Beltaton has a pocket full of treats to make sure he acts right.
We see that.
Yeah,
we see that. Yeah, we do.
That's right.
That's good.
All right.
All right.
Okay, well,
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a presentation tonight for the Chamber of Commerce. Please, you and Lonnie, I think, are going to come up here. And, we're recognizing Texas Chamber of Commerce Week, and so this is a proclamation in that regard. Whereas the city of the Greenville Chamber of Commerce was founded in 1913 and has been a consistent ally in representing local area businesses and has assisted in building relationships that have helped these businesses succeed for over 100 years. Whereas the Texas Chamber of Commerce Week is a celebration of the contributions and dedication of chambers of commerce and the professional staff that serve them. Whereas during the week of recognition, we celebrate the work of our Chamber of Commerce and those throughout Texas through a week of media coverage, promotional events, and increased public awareness and activities designed to communicate the value of Texas Chambers of Commerce to the local economy and the communities they serve as a whole. Now, therefore, I do hereby proclaim the week of October 17th, that's next week, through the 21st, Texas Chamber of Commerce Week in Greenville, Texas. Congratulations. And would you like to say anything about some of the events you have planned to celebrate this? Or?
So we're going to be visiting all our investors next week. We have 28 investors, so we're going to be visiting them going to be on Friendly Live on Wednesday, Lonnie and I. And, yeah, we're just gonna do social, media posts pretty much every day about the chamber.
Well, very
Our
good.
chamber,
Very good.
so,
So-
yeah. Anything you wanna say?
No, I'm good.
Lonnie, you always have something to say.
Not tonight, but you said 1913, and the rumor is not true. You were not here.
I don't know. Anyway, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Can we get a
Yes,
picture, right?
yeah,
I'll
you
can you
can,
take one for us?
yeah, we sure can, yeah. I don't want you people to want pictures of me. Thank you very much, we appreciate all you do for our community. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mayor, can I make a statement?
Yeah.
Ms. Shelley, I want to say thank you and Mr. Lonnie. When I first got on council, Mr. Lonnie, you challenged me. You said, Ms. Washington, I've never seen you at no ribbon cuttings. I want to see you going forward. And ever since then, I've attended almost every ribbon cutting. But I want to say, Ms. Shelley, I am so, so proud of you and your team because in my 2.5 years on council, I've learned so much about the different businesses we have here and what you have to offer for citizens and for networking. And I just want to say thank you for that because if we actually got up and got out and went to these events, we will see that we have more than just our normal businesses we see every day, that there are business owners who are willing to help us in the community and grow. And I just want to thank you and your team for that challenge and for allowing me to be a part of that. So thank you guys.
Okay, I want to call your attention tonight, for those in the audience, to two placeholders on the agenda: citizens to be heard and public testimony. Citizens are invited to address the council during citizens to be heard, address the council on topics that are not already scheduled for public hearing or not on the agenda. And public testimony occurs when citizens are invited to address the council on topics that are on the agenda. And tonight we have no ordinances, so those public testimony will start with item 8A. So if you'd like to make a comment regarding any of those issues, please present a citizen's comment card to the city secretary. Are there citizens to be heard?
Mr. Jordan,
I'm Bill Jordan, 9807 Hunters Run Street, Greenville, Texas. Been there about 20 years there, in Greenville all my life. The questions I have, the paperwork has changed so many times that your graphs and everything y'all are putting out.
okay, Mr. Jordan, excuse me. You had checked citizens to be heard and also about Altura Homes. So this is just citizens to be heard. But we'll call you first for
Oh, okay,
Altura
well,
Homes.
you said 8A and it says Altura down here, so.
Right, well,
I
this,
think
we
I
were starting.
misled you, I'm sorry. We do have citizens to be heard, and we've not gotten to 8A on the agenda
Okay.
yet. I'm
Okay, but you'll be
sorry.
first.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, are there citizens to
No.
be heard? There are no citizens to be heard, so now, Mr. Jordan, we're moving to 8A. So please come up. Very sorry.
Maybe we just do ditto then. The question I had, the paperwork was changed from when we met the 27th, y'all all agreed to put a locked gate for the fireproof exit to Cheltenham. But on the paperwork you just changed, it says that it's gonna be open. On the draft that you put out for everybody to read. And on the agreement with the developer, it stated, quote, complete construction of Cheltenham to provide traffic congestion relief for Old Mill Road. Well, I don't understand that. If you're not gonna open it, you're open it. One place it says you're not. We voted last in the 27th.
I understand. I think I can address that, or perhaps Daniel Ray can.
Will you put his time on pause?
No, I'm sorry. Do you want to address that, or you want me
Yeah,
to?
sure. It does. You're right. It does say that. That was pointed out by a couple of different people, and so when we talk in executive session, that part's going to come out. The part that's at the top of page 3 that says to provide traffic congestion relief for Old Mill Road. That to the extent that that's what the council votes on, I think the plan would be for someone to make a motion to accept everything else with that specific change. But it will be up to the council to do that. I think there's general agreement that you're logically
Sure
correct.
makes it confusing when you go in there and look at the paperwork one time, you go back and look at it again, and it's changed again. So you can see our point. How do we trust what y'all are really gonna do? Because to me, what I've been told already, not by any of you, that y'all already ain't got your mind are made up, you're gonna approve it, and it has been talked about for almost 2 years now, when it goes through. Y'all are gonna approve it, so it doesn't matter what we say. It's very confusing to the people, and our neighborhood being routed through there is gonna be nothing but harmful to the people that live there.
I understand why you're worried about the gate. There's nobody up here who thinks anything but that lock gate is going to go in. The council has specifically told the city manager to have her staff do that. And that's the reason for the suggested revision, is to make that at least more clear in the contract.
If I could just add to that, it's not the developer's responsibility to add that gate, and that's why it doesn't appear in the development agreement. Does that make sense?
And the other thing I had, where's this $4.4 million coming from?
Do you want to address that, or okay? It
Sure
can
not
come
coming out of
from
my
four
pocket,
different.
because I don't have that kind of money.
Sure.
I mean,
There's 4 different places that it could come from. It depends on how the council decides to spend that later on whenever the budgeting for that is done. It's already things that are in budget, which is a requirement for this type of contract. So those either going to come from, it may be a mix of one of these or 2 or more of these 4. Either impact fees, building permit fees, infrastructure money that the city received from the federal government through the American Rescue Plan, or from the $50 million street bond that was approved several years ago.
that we hadn't got good streets to drive on now. You gotta replace your shocks and everything else driving the city streets of Greenville. Your kidney busters is what we call it, going down because it's so rough. Anyway, hopefully that gets improved. Thank you.
While we're on that subject, I want to add another thing, if I might. Mr. Jordan and Mrs. Jordan is here. During the P&Z meeting, I sat at the back of the room and met a new friend. I thought was Miss Jordan, and we talked for about an hour while P&Z was in executive session. And
Jerry, can you speak a little louder, please, into the microphone?
I sure can.
Thank you, sir.
And I think subsequently in the city council meeting, I may have insulted Mrs. Jordan, and I want to publicly apologize if I offended you during that meeting. I wanted us to do that. So, is anyone else? Is there other public testimony? Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Ron Rogers.
Ron Rogers, 9805 Belmont and 1109 Whitehall. I'm here to oppose the overall agreement. I'm not going to go into great detail. I think most of y'all got a letter from Mr. Renshaw this afternoon, which was a lot more articulate than I could be, so I'm not going to waste your time since you've already got that letter. I think Daniel has solved the other problem. If I understood you correctly, the language stating that Cheltenham it will be used for traffic congestion control or reduction, that hopefully will be deleted. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's 2 different sections that relate to that.
Yeah.
And so one of them is the section we just talked about completely taking out. You pause the timer. Okay. The section we talked about taking out, just the section where it says to provide traffic congestion. But there's a different section that I think that you're referring to that talks
it's in
about.
section 2, under the developer's responsibilities.
Okay. Then yes, that is that. I mean, the plan is for that to come
Could
out.
you just reread that in the part in yellow there?
Yes, the part that is going to come out, should the council make this motion, is to provide traffic congestion relief for Old Mill Road. The rest of the sentence would stay in place.
Yeah, that Altura is responsible for constructing Cheltenham.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay, well, that solves a lot of the problems right there, and I appreciate it. I just want to thank, I know Mayor Pro Tem I bugged him all week last week in San Antonio about this, and I appreciate your going to bat for us and making sure this got cleared up. And Mr. Goss and Mr. Collins have both reached out, and I really appreciate it. I just think we need better communication, and I think that would have solved a lot of the problems early on. But I really appreciate what you've done by clarifying this language. That notwithstanding, I'm still against the $1.5 million for tree reduction that's been shifted over. But anyway, that's where I stand. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Richard Carter.
Real quick before we do that, can I make a comment about so Ron, I wanted to clarify a little bit about the 4.4 million. So it is true that in the agreement at one point it was split up to be 2.9 and 1.5. And now it looks like we just kind of slammed it all together. But the reality is what we're doing is paying them to build a road that would cost us far more to build than that 4.4. Right. We're actually sharing the cost of the road with them. And regardless of the fact that we had provisions about trees, which they would have to do anyway, the truth is that 4.4 is still a cost savings to us for the road that we would be getting. And you can argue about whether or not we should do that or not.
Yeah.
But the 4.4 is less than what we would spend to build that road.
I just think the tree provision was unfortunate.
It was confusing, I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Carter.
Thank you. My name is Richard Carter, 9810 Belmont Place, Greenville. Been there about 26 years. Got a couple of comments, questions. First off, thank you all for your compromise. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, on the fire gate. But the question I have about that fire gate is, what's the life of that fire gate? From a government, political, regulatory, statutory perspective. Is it 1 year and done, or is it there for 20 years?
The answer to that is that it's going to have to, if whoever's on the council years from now, it will be up to them. We can't bind this council, bind a future council with this decision. But the plan is for it to stay up, as long as this council's in charge and the people of the neighborhood hadn't risen up to say, please take that down.
So you, at your own timing, or your predecessors at your timing, can change that, can take that gate down?
The city council would have to vote majority to do that.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
That's a fear of our neighborhood.
Sure.
That does undermine everything we've talked about for the last 6 months. Second question I have, really more of a clarification to whoever wants to talk about it, is I'd like a little more explanation on Section 5. This traffic study. What does that mean, and what are the consequences if it fails? It kind of outlines that the agreement is voided, but just a little bit more, it's like a little more understanding of what that means and how does that, what does that look like once it's done?
Sure. Are y'all good
Sure,
with me?
yes.
Okay, so basically, that is put in there to, if they do a traffic study and it shows that instead of pulling traffic off of Old Mill Road, it actually puts it on, then the city can pull out of this agreement altogether.
Well, there's no doubt it's going to put traffic toward, it says towards Old Mill. So they're going to go down Bethel towards Old Mill. There's no doubt about that. And you're probably talking several hundred cars a day.
Well, it says to or toward.
Yeah, to or toward.
Yeah.
So you're going to have several hundred cars going down that way a day towards L3.
Sure, but that would come out in the traffic study, and that wouldn't be something that the community development manager would back out on the deal because of that.
Well, let me ask you, why do you think the people in that new neighborhood will go to Bethel Road on the Roy Warren extension, the new Roy Warren extension?
Well, I think those probably.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah, they'll probably split.
And there is a lot more traffic on Bethel now.
Assuming they're L3 people, let's say, then they're probably going to split their traffic going down 1570 and down Bethel.
They'll go down Bethel all the way to 2101, just like they do now.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I'm saying coming out of that subdivision.
That doesn't increase anything on Old Mill.
No,
Okay.
it goes towards Old Mill is what the language says.
Okay.
Towards
Okay.
Old Mill,
Okay.
not on Old Mill, but towards it.
Well, to or toward, and that language was specifically chosen to
Yes.
give the city the greatest latitude to pull out, depending on what the traffic
And
study
that's
shows.
my point, if a couple hundred cars a day are going towards Old Mill, what do we expect the traffic study is gonna say? And can Bethel really accommodate that kind of traffic? That's something y'all can discuss.
Well, that entire area is on the infrastructure plan to make into bigger roads.
But that's a county road, isn't it?
No, it's half city, half county. The northern half of Bethel belongs to the city, the southern half belongs to the county.
How interesting.
It
Okay.
is very
Yeah,
interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Holly Gray.
Good evening. I'm Holly Gray, 7402 Hackberry Drive, and I'm here to speak about the need that we have for larger homes here in Greenville. For those that don't know, I've been in real estate here 25 years, so I have had a number of years of working with people who we actually lost to other communities because we did not have the larger homes available for them. I probably get anywhere from 5 to 10 phone calls a week. Somebody's looking for a larger home, they're ready to upgrade, they're ready to, for various reasons, a birth or, the children are getting older, things like that. And so we have a need here tremendously for the larger homes. We have a demand for that. It is a growing demand with Greenville as much as we're increasing in population. Now that people can work from home more, they don't have to all go to the office every day. I'm seeing more of a push of families coming to Greenville and getting out of the big city life and stuff. And so I just feel like that there has been a need for this in Greenville for a long time. And there's just, I wish I'd have kept a log all these years of the people who had called me asking for this. And I just really, hate to see us continue to lose people to other cities because we don't offer that to them. So I feel like that it's something that needs to be definitely considered because there is definitely a demand for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gray.
Terry Driggers.
Terry Driggers, 1596 County Road 3128, and that is Campbell. Since I got booed and hissed the other night and told I didn't own anything here, and I own about 30 properties I pay taxes on, so I hope I have a little right to speak. Anyway, ditto to Miss Gray. I've got 10 years on her, but she sells a lot more houses than I do because I sell a lot of dirt. But ditto to what she said. She's exactly right. Call after call after call. Another reason one of our main employers don't stay here, and we've all grown up knowing that, and they send people elsewhere for various reasons, housing being one of them. Again, I hate to even bring up the gate, but I'm willing to bet in the next 2 years you got new people, different people, standing here asking you to take that gate down because they don't want to go down the bad road, they want to use the good one. Some of these same people stood in front of this council years ago as Councilman Perkins helped stop the redoing of Old Mill Road and widening of Old Mill Road. Daniel, just remind you, part of it was city, part of it was county. The very same people that are up here, some of them, that are fussing now, stood in the same council chambers and raised all kinds of cane not to do anything with Old Mill Road years ago. And we all know, yes, it's small, and there's a creek there, and it should have been done then, but it was the country living, so on and so on. So how dare you, speak out both sides. The big thing I want to address tonight is how we all got here. And I'm going to go way out on a limb, and I've hired legal counsel for it. We're here because 2 or 3 people put us in this position. And I'm not talking about the gate, I'm talking about the development. We have a developer who has run ads on the radio, brought in people, told stories of God knows what to keep a development coming in this town. That's twice. When the development went on 1570 at 310, we had some of the same P&Z people out fighting it, which I think just stinks to high heaven. When we've got people sitting on boards, calling around, asking you to speak against development, asking you to go on the radio show, to speak against development. And I'm sorry, guys, but I'm talking about James Evans, and I'm going to stand here tonight and I say that I think James Evans needs off of your P&Z board, because that's not the representation we need in Greenville, Texas. My hat's off to you guys. It's a hard decision. We need the houses. We got to have the growth. More than anything, I'll tell you one more time, we got to have the tax base.
Thank you, Mr. Triggers.
That's all.
That's all. Okay. What is the pleasure of the council regarding this issue? Item 8A.
I would move that we adopt the proposed language that Daniel read to us previously.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
Wait, actually, it would be better if you adopt that, but also move to accept the resolution, just so that the minutes are abundantly clear that that's what you mean. Is that what you mean before receiving votes here?
I just mean to adopt the language in the developer agreement.
Which includes the resolution, I guess, is what you're saying.
I can-
right?
Yeah, you're moving to accept or to adopt the resolution with that change.
With that amendment.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine.
You can vote. Was there time to second that also? So, please vote.
He's trying.
I know he is. There he goes.
And it passes 6-1. The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar.
City Council meeting minutes from September 27th and the joint council and P&Z from September 26th. Resolution approving annual contract for water and sewer connections, water meter boxes. Resolution renewing a bid for cyber liability insurance coverage. Resolution approving non-governmental funding to Keep Greenville Beautiful, Drug-Free Greenville, and Senior Center Resources. Resolution awarding the annual contract for polymer for wastewater reclamation treatment.
Is there public testimony regarding any of these issues?
No.
There is none. Or does the council have any questions regarding any of these issues? Thank you for your attendance tonight. If not, what's the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion to approve the
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Please vote. It passes unanimously. City staff, city council reports. Get a briefing on TML for those that were able to attend. So we'll start with you, Mr. Thomas.
Well,
Any comments?
thank you. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say. Those are always interesting seminars and things that we get to attend. And I learn every time I go to those. You're never too old to learn something. So, but my hat's off to Carol and Carla for organizing the event for us, recommending certain seminars to attend. It was very, very, very good.
Kristen?
Oh, it's me. I didn't learn nothing. I'm just kidding. I learned that it is very, very, very important for us as local leaders to listen to the community.
Yes.
The biggest thing that we miss out on is communication. And communication is very, very, very important, whether it's from the mayor, from council members, but to the citizens that we serve. Your voice is important, so it is very important for us to listen to you guys. I also learned that it is very, very, very important that you register to vote and that you go vote, and that even in November, you go vote, you speak up. We seem to think that elections only matter when it's for the government or the president. That's not true. Your local elections matter. Your local leaders matter. Who serves you matter. So I want to encourage you to encourage somebody else, a friend, a family member, anybody you see, register to vote. Come to city council meetings, learn about your city, learn about what's going on in the city. Because we've learned within the last couple of weeks, your voice matters. And the only way that we know what's happening and what's going on in the community is if you guys speak up. Don't be afraid to approach. Don't be afraid to send an email. Don't be afraid to call. Talk to us. We're here for you. We're here for the people. And that was the main thing that I learned from this conference, is that if we don't speak to each other and talk to each other and learn and educate each other, we're going to stay at the same spot we've been for the last 50 years.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman?
Yes, I'd like to say that we need to be more transparent on our paperwork as well as communication, so that we won't have a lot of problems with this and that. That we are here for the citizens that we represent, and we need to do our very best to be transparent to those people that we represent, so we get the best information out to them, so we won't have a lot of confusion and stuff like that. And I think we need to improve on that area quite a bit. And I think I enjoyed the TML. I really enjoyed it, even though my knee hurt. But I really enjoyed it. And I'm always open to that. People from my district, not only my district but every district, should come to the council meeting and check it out and see what's going on. So a lot of time they won't get hearsay. They'll get their say when you're here to listen to what is going on. And that's the best way you can communicate by coming in and seeing for yourself and listening for yourself what is truly going on in your district as well as the city. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Tim, did you have any comments about TML? I skipped over you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that I was able to attend this year. I did go to a number of seminars that I viewed as current issues, that related to current issues and concerns of the citizens in our county and our community. And I was really glad to get some more input on things that related to that. And then also just reflecting on what Kristen said about get out and vote. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of state level items to vote on, and it's the state that really both handcuffs and changes a lot of what we can do as a municipality. I mean, we are kind of the punching bag of what they throw out there. So be aware of what's going on at the state level, because it greatly impacts what we can do as a municipality and how we can operate. So it's always it's not a give, it's a take from the state. So the more you the more you help control that.
Very good points, Tim. Thank you for dialing us up tonight. I know you're on a family vacation. Thank you for being here.
No trouble.
Okay. So we'll go to council discussion of proposed agenda items. Are there any items the council would like to discuss at this time or bring to the agenda for the agenda?
I would like to, we met before about the lakes. I would like we can meet again so we can, thank you.
Okay. Any other items? There are no boards and commission minutes, so at this time we will go back into executive session. We do not anticipate a vote coming out of executive session. Thank you for your attendance tonight, and hopefully we'll see you next time.